I'm personally ready for my TBR to be much lower in 2026. So I feel like I should just jump right into my first episode of TBR Breakdown for 2026. So this series, like many others, is inspired by Becca from Becca in the Books and her Shelve It or Scrap It series. I don't know, I feel like in this video I should make like a goal of what my TBR will be at the end of the year, except I don't actually know what the count for my TBR is currently. I want to say like if I got it down to 30, that'd be insane and like incredible. I kind of think I'm around the 60 to 70 mark currently. Personally, I don't need my TBR to be 0 ever, but I do want it to be lower, more manageable, more current as in newer releases, but also current as in my current taste. That's just what I'm thinking about going into the year. We are just going to use a spinner wheel to choose my reads. I'm going to choose all 3 right now because I may need to get access to it through audiobook, through my library, whatever. So I just want to know what I'm going to be reading. I'm also just like nosy, so I just want to know. Interesting. This is actually a really interesting one to get for a vlog. It's Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter. This was really popular a couple years ago for vlogs. I think it came out end of 2023. Written with a bunch of evidence and transcripts and everything, so the reader can be the investigator. He was an only child, asleep upstairs at the time of the murder. His mother and 2 half-sisters were also in the house that night, but all swear they saw nothing. 20 years later, the sensational new streaming series Infamous is dedicated to investigating and perhaps cracking this famous cold case. The production team will re-examine testimony, re-interview witnesses, and once again scour the evidence. The family will speak. The key players will be reunited on camera. The truth will come out. Are you ready to see it? So I think this will be actually a really interesting one to read with you guys. Pick book number 2. Now, why isn't it beeping for this one? Not beeping, I don't know words. I don't want to read this one right now. A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I thought maybe I was gonna have to read this for another video, and I was like, please don't come up, please don't come up, please don't come up. But the universe wanted me to read it anyway. I just don't feel like I'm in the mood for it. That's like the biggest thing. It's a fantasy. I don't really know what it's about. She's in an unwanted marriage. He betrays her, landing her in a fight to the death against his son. She's forced to reveal her deepest secret. She has a drop of a goddess's blood, which makes her a shield maiden with magic capable of repelling any attack. And it's been foretold that such magic will unite the fractured nation beneath the one who controls the shield maiden's fate. People love it, so I should like it. I just don't think I'm in the mood for it right now. This is another reason why I wanted to pick all 3 books at once, because if I just got this one, I'd be putting it off. I'm just gonna be honest, and this video would take longer to put out, so let's see what I get for the 3rd and final book of this vlog. I don't know why it's not making noises. Ting, 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 ting. Oh, it's going in between 2. Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. I think this is about 2 people who make a deal to kill for each other, so then neither of them can be pointed to for the crime because there's no connection between the 2 people. And that's about all I know about this one, and that's all I really want to know going into it. I've read, I think, 2 books from Steve Kavanaugh before. One I liked way more than the other. I think the second one wasn't bad, but the first one I read was 13, and that was a really cool idea, and I was really interested in it. So I'm excited for this one. Hopefully I actually like it. So 2 mysteries and a fantasy. We shall see. not too bad. This I'm not jazzed about, but who knows, maybe in a week I'll be like in the mood for this. My mood changes very quickly, so but I will talk to you guys when I get into reading these. Don't mind my appearance or the background is kind of messy, but I really want to get in the shower, but I have makeup on, so I want to do an update while I look half decent. But I started Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. I actually probably could have finished this today, but I decided to stop halfway so I could give you guys good thoughts, be a good booktuber, and not just come to you with a finished book. So I randomly got the Skip the Line hold for the audiobook for this one a couple days ago. I actually kind of forgot that I was supposed to be reading this. But I then remembered. So I am now just over 50% through. I'm on page 170, chapter 27. So I went over like the main kind of idea of this book, but now that we're into it a little bit more, we are following a couple different people. So we have Amanda, who we find out her daughter was tragically killed and kidnapped and killed, and her husband blamed himself, so he later committed suicide. Pretty sure she knows who killed her daughter. The police think they do know too, but they can't put him in jail. There's some things in the way. He's being protected by his family, who's really rich and powerful. So she is kind of stalking the guy for like since it happened. I can't remember how long it's been, like 6 months or something, let's say. So she's been stalking him the whole time, and it comes to this big confrontation, which leads to her spending like a day in jail and him getting a restraining order against her, and she has to go to these, and then she goes to these counseling sessions that are anonymous. It's like group counseling, but no one uses their real names and like tries not to give too many details to give it away for other people to Google them when they leave. So she meets someone else whose daughter had been murdered. They start a friendship, and that is mainly where this storyline of Kill for Me, Kill for You comes in, where they make a deal. They'll kill the other person's child murderer. How do I say that? Does that make sense? Then we also have another point of view, and I think her name is Ruth, who is a successful real estate agent, but she wants to be more successful before she has children and more settled before her and her husband have children. So that's a struggle that she's kind of going through. Her and her husband kind of bicker a lot, but I think they love each other. Her husband goes out with his friends for a night. She wakes up in the middle of the night to glass crunching, and she thinks maybe her husband dropped a glass and is stepping on it by accident. So she goes downstairs to check on him, and a man comes up behind her and chloroforms her. She later is woken up in the hospital, and talking to police, it sounds like maybe this is a serial killer, and she was quote unquote lucky because she lived. So now we're seeing her deal with trauma and PTSD from that experience, and how it's affecting the rest of her life, including her husband. So I'm really enjoying this one so far. Like I said, I probably could have finished it today, but I wanted to give you guys a halfway update, but I didn't really want to stop because I was enjoying it. So I really hope the rest of it's super good. I think I have like 150 pages left to seeing where this ends up, because where I stopped was a really interesting part. Twists are starting. And I think I know one twist of one of the storylines, possibly, but as it goes on, it's looking less likely. But I do have one theory. The rest of it, I have no idea what's going on, but in the best way. This is shaping up to be really good so far. Okay, now I want to go shower the day off. I am so tired. I finished Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh yesterday, and I'm giving it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Was it the most groundbreaking twists and turns and whatever? No, but it was fun. It kept me gripped the whole entire time. I was excited to see what came next, and I don't think I guessed that many twists. Maybe like a couple, I don't know, but there was a lot of twists in this. Oh, I did guess one major one at the end, but it was there's so many twists built together that it didn't matter. This is what I want from a thriller mystery, and I feel like I've been missing that with a lot of mysteries lately. They just haven't been hitting like I need them to hit, and like they used to be hitting, because they were my favorite genre, and I still think mysteries would be my favorite genre, but they just haven't been hitting like I need them to, and this one did. I've read 2 other books from Steve Kavanaugh. Witness 8, I think, was the last one. That was like last year I read it. And 13, and they're like in a detective series. This is on its own. Loved. So definitely recommend if you're thinking about reading it. Audiobook was really good. I don't know, I think it was just a fun time, and that is a big part of what can make a thriller a 5-star for me, is if I have fun reading it, it makes sense but isn't too obvious for every single twist. And I feel like also part of that was just letting myself enjoy it and not trying to figure out the twists, because sometimes I feel like I'm too analytical, that I'm like, oh, this is obviously the twist, and then it takes a bit of the fun out of the book. So I need to remember that when I'm reading other thrillers. I am gonna be starting this one next. I think I have to read some other books from the library first, but this will be my next one for this video, because I'm on like a long wait from the library for this audiobook, so I just ended up using one of my credits from Audible to listen to this, because I don't think I'll just physically read it. I don't foresee myself liking that. I rarely do that with fantasy now, and understanding things without the audiobook can be hard for me with fantasies. I am going to start A Fate Inked in Blood today by Danielle L. Jensen. I am nervous. I sort of know what this is like, or like what this is about. Freya is a shield maiden, but she's trying to hide it. But a betrayal by her husband makes it come to light through protecting herself in a fight. Desperate to prove her strength, she must train to fight and learn to control her magic, all while facing perilous tests set by the gods. The greatest test of all, however, may be resisting her forbidden attraction. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her own destiny, but the fate of all the people she has sworn to protect. So, we're gonna start this today and listen to it while I'm at work. We'll see how far I get into it today, and I'm like nervous for this one. I just like don't know if I'm gonna love it, but I don't want to go into it with like that bad attitude, because then I'm gonna get what I'm expecting, you know? I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be good. People really like this one. It's the second one that they don't really like, but I just feel like I was kind of dreading this one. I think I mentioned that when it came up. I just am not super excited about it, but maybe I should be. Okay, I am on page 348, which is also chapter 31 of Fate Inked in Blood. I have about an hour left of the audiobook, like 60 some pages, 70 pages of the book left. It's okay. It is. I was so bored at the beginning that I was like, I might have to DNF this. It's gotten better than that, but it's very mid for me, and to the point that I don't know that I'll continue on in the series, because I'm gonna finish this, I'll read what the synopsis is for the next one, I'll see how this one ends up, like the cliffhanger, whatever happens, but I know people don't like the second book. People that loved this first book didn't like the second book. So if I'm not loving the first book, why would I read the bad sequel? So it might seem stupid that I'm finishing this if I'm not even going to continue on in the series, but I started to enjoy it and I was a little bit more intrigued. So I'm just going to finish it. I might as well. I used an Audible credit on this, so might as well get my money's worth out of it. Like the last hour and a half of listening to it, it's been better. I think I said this in a different vlog. I had 4 hours and 20 minutes going into it this morning, and I was just gonna force myself, okay, do 2 hours and a little bit today, 2 hours and a little bit tomorrow, and you'll finish it. But I ended up doing 3 hours today, so that's good, and that's a good sign. At first, I didn't even think I was gonna get the 2 hours done while I was at work, but then I got listening, got to an interesting part, and continued. So yeah, I'm really unsure what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe if I find someone that I know that really likes this, I'll give them this copy or sell this copy, because it is signed and it's like the nice edition of it. I don't know if it's first edition or what it is, but whatever. Or if I'll keep it because it is a really nice looking book. But yeah, it's not a win so far. Right now it'd probably be like a 2.5, 3-star rating. We'll see. I'll finish it tomorrow. I finished A Fate Inked in Blood a couple days ago. I haven't taken out the bookmark. I didn't really like this. I know I talked to you about like liking a little bit more. That didn't really last. The ending, I guess, was good. More interesting, but I just didn't have fun with this, and I feel like for me, having fun with a book is like a really big part of it. This one didn't have that for me. I gave it a 2 stars on Goodreads. Might be a little too harsh, but it's probably maybe like a 2.5. I'm not going to continue on in this series. I'm probably going to try and sell this eventually when I don't have a gajillion things on my plate, since it's a first signed edition, but not hit the hype for me personally, which is fine. I think I tried it, I gave it a fair shot, and that's that. I don't know, I really don't have that many thoughts about it because I just like didn't like it. So for this video, I just have Murder in the Family left. I'm not sure when I'll get to it, so hopefully soon. But I'm excited for it. That one's gonna probably be the most interesting for this vlog. Don't mind my appearance. I am having a very lazy day, but I am finally gonna start Murder in the Family. This feels like the only time that I've had since I've started this video to finally read this. I can't remember if I said this when I got it, but it's all like newspaper clippings, television, like documentary transcripts, or like interview transcripts. I'm gonna put the audiobook on as well. We'll see if I like it like that or if I just want to read it myself, I guess. But I will let you know my thoughts throughout. Hopefully it'll be a quick and easy read. So it's been, I don't even know, 3 weeks since I said I was starting Murder in the Family, but I'm finally reading it and I'm already at like 80%. I'm on page 362, which 100 pages left. So I thought I should give you guys my thoughts. I don't really have that many thoughts, to be honest, which is why I haven't came on here and talked to you guys. Also because it was taking me a while to get into it, but the last 2 days I've been, or I guess 3 days, I've been pushing through. This is about a true crime show, documentary, about the murder of Luke Ryder, who was married to an older woman. She wasn't that old, but he was like 26. She was in her 40s, and one day he's found dead in the garden. This is set in like the UK. And he's found by her 2 daughters. She's got 3 kids from a previous marriage. She's like a socialite, pretty rich. It's always been thought that she probably murdered him, but never been able to prove or completely disprove it. So her son, who was like 10 years old at the time, is doing this documentary. It seems like he's trying to prove his mom's innocence, but also at this point, he just wants to find out the truth. So his mom has like dementia now, and it's like 20 years later, so she's older, and he just wants the answers. So I'm gonna try and finish it in the next hour, however long it takes me. It's been a minute since I actually finished Murder in the Family. I was just editing this video. So sorry for the last clip. I'm not really sure what happened with the audio. The only thing I can think of is I had my headphones in and messed up the audio, but I don't even actually know if that's what it was. So sorry about that. But I ended up giving this 4 stars. I think mainly for the format. The story and the mystery itself was probably closer to a 3-star, but I'm just a sucker for this. There was like lots of twists and misdirects, and I'm rewatching Bones right now, and it kind of reminded me of that, because I don't know, for like TV shows they have to give you a certain amount of misdirects. You can't meet the murderer and then have them figure out the murder in the first 20 minutes. So I don't know, it kind of reminded me of that. I thought I guessed twists a few times, and some of it was a little bit right, most of it was wrong. It just wasn't like the most fulfilling ending, I guess you can say. So like I said, 4 stars because of the format and the idea, but the mystery itself 3. So if Goodreads did have stars, it'd probably be a 3.5. Every time I look at this, I'm like, it was not for me, but whatever. And this is definitely one of my favorite books of the year so far, so that was definitely a win. And I'm glad I finally read this, understood the fun hype with the format. So it was overall a win. Getting 3 books off of my TBR is always a win alone, so I'm happy, and I'm going to start working on my next episode of TBR Breakdown. So make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys there. Bye.